Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Self-Published Success, a show that highlights forward-thinking authors who chose self-publishing over traditional and found success in doing so. My name is John Feldman, founder and CEO of Visionary Literary, and your host for today's show. Today we have another special episode where we do not have a guest, but we have some exciting news to share. That's that our company book, Your Book on Your Terms, is now available in audiobook format. So previously it was available in ebook, paperback, and hardcover, and we have since finished the production of the audiobook format for our book. So this is exciting news for two reasons. First is the explosive growth of audiobooks. We're able to help get into this, and also we help our authors do this as well, but we just feel again, the growth is explosive. So for the 10th straight year, there's been growth. And according to the Audio Publishers Association, their annual sales survey, there was a double-digit increase in audiobook sales. There are 28 different members that report to this association, and they reported gains of 25% in 2021, which brings the audiobook industry as a whole to $1.6 billion. So again, a booming industry. We all know it. We all hear about audiobooks. We see the value in them. And we're just excited to bring this to you and to give you and anyone else looking to write their own book another platform from which to digest the information. The second reason this is exciting is because it's our mission. So at Visionary Literary, our company, and through this podcast as well, self-publishing has opened up doors for anyone who has a voice, anyone who has a story or some guidance, anything to share, can write and publish a book in the exact same type of format and getting the exact same catalogs as those who are traditionally published. And 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. So we're very excited to be in this industry, helping to bring new books to the world, new ideas to the world, give helpful insight, and to, again, just open the minds of readers everywhere. And this book is our way to help anyone with any level of budget. Again, the audiobook, the ebook, and the paperback and hardcover are all under $20. So it's a very small investment to make, to read, and to get all this information. It's basically my 15 years of writing and publishing all put into one book. So my hope is that it really does help anyone. So today we wanted to give you a sneak peek of the book by sharing this introduction with you. And without further ado, here is that introduction. Introduction. Lost time is never found again. Benjamin Franklin. Opening a new book brings so much promise, doesn't it? When you read over the first few lines, you think about what potential it can bring, how it can help you improve yourself, your business, your life. As a leader and as a creator, you have most likely told yourself 100 times you need to write a book. I know it would be helpful, you've probably said to yourself. With each book you read, you can see yourself on the other end of the deal, penning beneficial words. But it's the idea of pulling it all together that stops you from moving forward, isn't it? The idea of writing a book strikes often, and little bits of information typically trigger that thought. But having enough information for an entire book? You're just not sure. And the time it would take to sit down and figure it out? There's simply not enough room in your busy schedule. This becomes your roadblock. The overwhelming fear of the unknown turns "I should write a book" into "it would be nice to one day write a book." Oddly enough, the one thing that separates you from others, being an innovator and a risk taker, is what's holding you back from accomplishing this task. So you do what you think is best. I'll put it on my bucket list, you say. Please don't. Don't deprive your readers of what you have to offer. Don't allow these lessons you have learned over the years or the techniques you have spent so much time perfecting to go unnoticed due to the very normal fear of writing a book. Think of the people who will continue to struggle to find the information you have. Picture them stumbling through article after article, book after book, taking the time to pick up on little things that they need, but always wondering if there's that one ultimate source that contains all the information they need. You can provide them with that resource. And more importantly, you can spare them the time they would otherwise spend going down those rabbit holes of information. What would you have done for a book like this 10, 20, even 30 years ago? Time is the one commodity we can never get back. The internet is flooded with quotes around this topic, and for good reason. It's true. There's no debating that time will continue to move forward at the same speed regardless of what we do. We have the ability to dictate how our life will go in nearly every aspect, but time is completely out of our hands. You understand this already, don't you? As a business owner, regardless of its size, you understand the concept of time. You realize it is the most precious thing we have, and we need to use it as efficiently as possible. That's why you seek out time-saving technology, automation, scheduling, communication. You attempt to find ways to bring more value to the world with what little time you have. That's why you seek books, such as this one, and the many others you have read through and found valuable. You want to learn from others who have been where you aspire to be. Let them navigate through the overgrown jungle, carve out a path, and then lead you down that victorious path. This is exactly what your readers can gain from you. As the visionary, you are the one who has paved the way. You have filtered out the bad, kept the good, and discovered a path on which one can walk with limited hurdles. You have the information others seek. By providing your reader a clear path from one point to the next, you save them the time they would otherwise spend navigating through the jungle in an attempt to find their own way. Their schedule opens up and allows them to do more of what they desire to do, create amazing things. Whether it's products, services, events, or any other area of business or expertise, you enable them to move forward unhinged. The importance of books. By writing a book, you give people the opportunity to change the world. A little dramatic? Maybe, but maybe not. Look at all the innovators in the world and ask yourself how they have been able to accomplish so much. Elon Musk, on how he learned to build rockets, says, "I read books." Warren Buffett admits to reading for 5 or 6 hours per day, claiming, "That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest." Mark Zuckerberg at one point even had his own online book club, where he and the other members read 2 books per week. How can busy entrepreneurs like these have so much time for reading? They make time because they understand its importance to their life and to their business. Think of how books have impacted your life. How many have stuck with you over the years? What's the one that you're thinking of right now as you read through this paragraph? That's powerful, isn't it? Think of the fear that must have crept into the mind of the author of that book. Think of the doubt. Think about what your life would be like without that book and how much time you would have spent learning on your own, going through the trial and error process. Your book doesn't have to change the world in an instant. It doesn't have to be read by hundreds of thousands of people to be considered a success. If it helps just one person to become a better leader, creator, provider, supplier, and so forth, then it can change the world. It can change their world, which, in turn, will help to positively change the world of everyone they encounter. There are roughly 750,000 books published every year. The writing is on the wall, and it's telling us that books are not only important, but valued. The importance of this book. Similar to your business, ours has a mission, and that's to spread awareness of the ability to write, publish, and promote a book. We want any individual who reads through these pages to know that it is possible to write, publish, and promote their book. The boundaries that once existed have been removed. This book is designed to help walk an aspiring nonfiction author of any business tier, income level, or societal rank through the steps it takes to write a book. From the initial idea all the way through publication and promotion, we can help. At Visionary Literary, we work with clients to write nonfiction books to use as marketing tools. For industry experts and business leaders looking to break into public speaking, coaching, consulting, to boost authority, or to create leads, our company helps. But there's a price tag to this. As a marketing tool for your business, that price tag might be well worth it. After all, you have two payment sources in life, time and money. Your method of payment depends on which you prefer to sacrifice. For most companies, monetary payments to employees and contractors opens time for their senior leadership to work on company growth. However, some companies might not have a marketing budget large enough at this point to hire a company to take control. This doesn't mean you cannot launch your own book. You have options, and we want to share those options with you here. Because at the end of the day, everyone inside our company is an avid reader, myself included. No, wait, scratch that. Myself especially. I love to read. I live for it. My dream is to one day have a library the size of Madison Square Garden and to drive around on a little Segway, grabbing book after book, reading and retaining as much information as possible. I'm still far from having enough books to fill a stadium of that size, but I continue to build upon that dream. I read constantly, and I do so because I learn something from every book I read. Each time I open a book and begin to read the introduction, I can feel the author's excitement. Yet, as a ghostwriter for over a decade, I know there were nerves behind that opening piece. I know imposter syndrome was rearing its ugly head, and the first draft of that introduction wasn't nearly as prestigious and clean as what was printed on those finished pages. My goal as a ghostwriter has always been to help the aspiring author, you. I want to help you get out of your own head and move swiftly through your writing journey. I've worked with dozens of clients, from former NFL players, leaders of billion-dollar businesses, to a World War II veteran, which was one of the coolest experiences ever. And I know the struggles. I'm aware of the normal pain points and the roadblocks. And more importantly, I know how to help you navigate around those roadblocks. Yet there's still something more valuable than any of the writing or publishing tips I can offer. And that's the desire to help you save time. You aren't a full-time fiction writer kicking back at your desk, taking the necessary time to structure your book. You're a full-time entrepreneur, a spouse, a parent, a friend. You have obligations. I founded Visionary Literary after spending a decade watching authors do things the time-consuming way. Spending up to 40 hours on video calls with your ghostwriter conducting interviews during business hours. Having additional calls with your cover designer. Having additional calls with your typesetter. Having weekly calls with your project manager. Having calls to discuss additions and revisions. Having calls to discuss future calls. Schedule limitations due to time zone differences, working with virtual assistants, executive assistants for scheduling, task completion, and process approval. These processes are limiting. They are time-consuming when they don't have to be. Technology in the 21st century is moving so quickly, we don't need to use these antiquated models any longer. You have options. Our goal at Visionary Literary, and through this book, is to help you navigate to the path that's most conscious of your time. We want you to write a professional, earth-moving book, but we don't want you to sacrifice other areas of your life to do so. There's no need for it, not now. Why you should write a book. To help, because you're not getting any younger, because you can. What's the reason you decided to order this book? The idea had to have done more than just cross your mind, right? Maybe you've been exploring the idea for years, or maybe only a few weeks. Regardless, you probably want to tap into an area that's been restricted, yet can become available once you become a published author. Authoring a book allows you to have a detailed business card. Your book can explain in detail what you and your business do. Your potential client has choices, and by giving them insight into your processes and your knowledge, you can position yourself as the expert. Your book can help move you into coaching and consulting gigs. Want to help people individually or in group sessions? The sales pipeline for these services becomes much shorter when you can provide proof of knowledge in a book. Your book can be used to recruit candidates to your company. What better way to introduce your company than to talk about it in a book? Share your core values, what makes you great, why people would love working for you, and why your company is in a prime position for continued growth. A book can allow you to raise outside capital. Doing a funding round? A pitch deck works well, but how about giving potential investors a glimpse into what your company does, its history, and its plans for the future inside of an engaging book? Your book can help you sell a course or a mastermind group. This is one of the most common strategies. Course creators or businesses selling online courses create coinciding books. This helps your business attract potential clients from different sources and also creates cross-selling opportunities. A book can enhance your speaking career. Want to be a keynote speaker at a conference in your industry? Or looking to get on a TEDx stage? Proving yourself credible through a book is a near necessity for this. A book can allow you to join advisory boards. Businesses want true advisors on their board. If you want to gain board seats, prove your knowledge and value through a book. Your authority and credibility elevate the second you hit publish. A book can allow you to help others. You can help yourself and your business, but your book can also change lives. If your book impacts only one person's life and pulls them out of a rough spot, then it can be considered a success. These are just a few reasons you may want to write a book, but it could be for other reasons as well. You might want to leave a legacy piece for your grandchildren, or simply document your memoir. Maybe the reason you want to write a book is outside of the norm but fits well into your future plans. Regardless of the reason, the important thing is you have taken the first step. By opening this book and preparing yourself to learn the tactics necessary to write, publish, and promote your book, you are one step closer to becoming a published author. Congratulations! You have made it farther than the many others who have talked about writing a book, but will unfortunately never do so. Ready to start hammering away at that keyboard now? Anxious to get all of your information out into the world? Don't get too excited. We need to start from the beginning, but I promise your patience will pay off. As you go through this book and use the resources available through the provided links, I promise you will be in a perfect position to begin. Let's start by building the foundation of your book. Let's start with your why.